First and foremost, to my viewers in the UK, again, like I said, you have my sympathy and you deserve a better Prime Minister. And I know it is hard for you to protest against this kind of people. You stood up, and now Keir Starmer, look at you. What have you done? Well, endure it.
Shame! 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 Criminal!
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
After finishing his address, Keir Starmer stepped forward, expecting applause and a wave of support. What he faced instead was every politician's nightmare. Shouts of "Shame, shame, you are criminal" exploded from the crowd, sharp and relentless. It was a furious voice of the nation, raw and unrestrained. For a moment, he tried to stand firm, acting as though nothing had shifted. Yet the chants only intensified. Police officers were forced to push protesters back to create space. Starmer shielded his face from the cameras, eyes lowered, and hurried away from the chaos toward the safety of his car. Any illusion of a supportive audience dissolved instantly.
This is unacceptable. What happened to human rights? What happened to democracy? We call for democracy. We don't see any of that. Please don't touch me. Please do not touch me. I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, I'm not.
Why did the crowd of protesters turn on Starmer so viciously? He was emerging from a public hearing during which he was publicly humiliated, exposed for his hypocrisy in dealing with illegal immigrants who commit violent crimes, including stabbings.
Gee, have we seen this before? No, generally. Who does this Prime Minister remind you? That's right, Joe Biden. I mean, how many illegal immigrants did Joe Biden let in when he was president?
Publicly humiliated after being caught out on hypocrisy over illegal migrants committing violent crimes, including knife attacks, Kemi Badenoch went straight for the jugular, accusing him of personally blocking the deportation of foreign offenders. She singled out Ernesto Elliott, a man with 17 convictions, some for knife crime. After his removal was stopped, he went on to kill. What is that, if not aiding and abetting crime on Starmer's part?
So let's talk about immigration. He has relaunched yet again. Many new targets, 6 milestones, 5 missions, but why was cutting immigration not a priority?
The previous government presided over record high levels of immigration. The figures just a few weeks ago, nearly 1 million on net migration. That is unprecedented. She stood up and praised the then Tory Home Secretary for listening to her on removing caps on migration visas. So she was applauding it.
He wanted us to relax immigration, but he's so keen to talk about the past, let's look at his record. 4 years ago, the Prime Minister signed a letter demanding that foreign criminals be allowed to stay in Britain. Dozens of Labour and Liberal Democrat MPs repeatedly signed these letters insisting that rapists and murderers be allowed to stay here. One of those criminals, Ernesto Elliott, had 17 convictions, including for knife crime. After his deportation was blocked, Elliott went on to murder someone. He was able to stay here and murder because people like this man campaigned against deporting criminals.
Have you noticed how uncomfortable Starmer gets when the subject of illegal migrants comes up? It's his most vulnerable topic.
Wait, what about Joe Biden? Was Joe Biden vulnerable when the topic of migration comes out? What do you think, folks? Oh, and by the way, if you see the background here, this one mostly is going to be extra content because... Sorry about that, that was interruption. If you see this, this is most likely extra content. Because of my first and second channel, I'm limited to at least 1 video per day. Okay, let's just say there was update development or anything. I think I will put most of them here in this 4th channel, okay? If there's updated development. Like for example, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be reacting to a Tozi's video on Johnny Somali's case. Not the live stream, I think there's a video. For the live stream, I don't know. It's going to take time for me to record, but that's beside the point. So let's continue.
Stepping into Parliament, he memorizes the talking points fed to him by his PR team, ready to dodge and redirect any awkward question. You can almost see him searching for the next rehearsed line, desperate to change the subject. And when the pressure mounts, he'll defend illegal migrants with everything he's got. For one simple reason, they benefit him. The system works like this. He and his team take taxpayers' money and funnel it into generous welfare handouts for people who arrived just yesterday without papers, sneaking across the channel. They're housed in luxury hotels, all funded by taxes, even from pensioners shivering in their homes. The image of warm hotel rooms filled with illegal strangers while locals freeze is a national scandal hiding in plain sight. In return, these groups vote Labour in droves. Convenient, isn't it? British citizens, however, are left to deal with the fallout. Rising crime, phone snatchings, grooming gangs, sexual assaults, knife violence. In parts of London, carrying a machete is practically normal. The streets feel less safe than ever, and ordinary people are paying the price. No wonder Nigel Farage has gone on the attack. He's slamming Starmer for throwing open the borders to arrivals from Afghanistan and Eritrea.
I guess this is similar with Biden when he was president. Not similar, but a little bit closer. I mean, seriously, folks, to my viewers here, if any of you who are from America, how many illegal immigrants have come into America under Joe Biden? Give your numbers in the comments. Honestly, this is the UK version of Joe Biden.
Warns the situation is now critical. Around 400 to 500 migrants are now arriving through the channel every single day, according to official figures. These are people with no documents, free to commit crimes and walk away without facing justice. Deportations don't work, integration is impossible, and yet more unassimilable migrants are on their way. Even his political opponents admit that public patience is wearing dangerously thin.
What the hell is the Prime Minister going on about? We're talking about illegal immigration. He wants to give them visas. He just said we've got to look at visas, which means what he's really saying is we'll open up legal routes to Eritrea. We'll open up legal routes to Afghanistan. This man hasn't got a clue. He literally hasn't got a clue. He is wedded to a human rights agenda. His second speech as Prime Minister in the House of Commons praised the ECHR.
And don't forget, which I'm also going to add this, the UK Online Safety Act. So tell me something, or why does the UK has an Online Safety Act, but right now, many sexual predators, probably I'm going to say PDF file, okay? They are running rampant against minors. How are you going to protect children? You said that the UK Online Safety Act is to protect children, but you have illegal immigration are doing criminal to minors and kids.
Which our judges are powerless to deport most people here, including even those suspected of terrorism elsewhere.
Public anger over illegal migrants is exploding across Britain, and Starmer is proving too weak to face it. Outside migrant hotels, protests grow louder every week, driven by fear for the safety of women and children. Instead of tackling the crisis head-on, Starmer hides behind empty slogans and polished sound bites from his PR team. The moment he hears a question on migration, his tone changes, his eyes drop, and he scrambles for a way out. He pretends to care about public safety, yet blocks deportations of dangerous offenders who have no right to be here. When cases like the sex case of a 12-year-old girl by 2 asylum seekers emerge by Nigel Farage, Starmer's response is silence and deflection.
Of course he is. Yeah, who'd have thought it? Also, another thing, this is why, also to the government in UK, why do you have the UK Online Safety Act? Oh well, you just put it there, and I'm 100% certain they're not going to abolish the UK Online Safety Act. The UK Online Safety Act, combining with illegal immigration and also Starmer's incompetence, is going to backfire immediately. His time as Prime Minister is not going to last, I don't know, 2 years? I don't know what's the longevity of the Prime Minister. I need to recheck.
Officials under his watch use community cohesion as an excuse to hide the truth from the British public. It's a cover-up culture that leaves predators on the streets while victims are forgotten. Starmer refuses to detain young, undocumented men arriving across the channel, letting them roam free in British towns. Knife attacks, grooming gangs, and violent assaults rise, yet the Prime Minister acts as if nothing is wrong. He will dodge, change the subject, or attack his critics before ever admitting there's a problem. Instead of protecting his citizens, he houses these men in taxpayer-funded hotels and calls it compassion. This isn't compassion, it's a reward system for breaking the law. Starmer's open door stance sends a message worldwide. Britain is soft, Britain won't enforce its borders. Other countries, like Australia, acted decisively and stopped the boat. Starmer does nothing but talk.
I think the UK needs its own Donald Trump. But then again, there's no people who has the ability similar to either Donald Trump or Javier Milei. Honestly, like I said, they're really going to piss off the whole British people, which includes Scotland. I'm probably certain Scotland is already pissed at this.
Cornered with direct facts, you can see the discomfort on his face as he spits out a rehearsed defense. Every day of inaction makes him look weaker, more hypocritical, and completely out of touch with reality. The public can see the truth. Under Starmer, criminals are protected, while ordinary Britons live in fear.
There is certainly rising public anger out there in the country. The migrant hotel issue has moved really from one of fairness, why on earth have people been given all these things, to very much about the safety of women and children. For all the government's talk about protecting children, which they claim is the sole purpose of the Online Safety Act, our criticisms of that and the impositions on free speech that have been imposed just in the first week of its operation, I will say to all broadcasters when we get to this segment of today's press conference, nothing we say will in any way be in contempt of court. And indeed, to quote Jonathan Hall KC, who is the independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, he said in the wake of Southport that we should spell out the basic and sober facts.
Nigel Farage strikes directly at the hottest pressure point in the country's migrant crisis. Starmer is left clinging to legal jargon and cherry-picks statistics from select areas where Labour claims to have made progress. He talks about isolated successes, but the truth is brutal. What they fix in a month is undone by fresh arrivals within a week. Farage points out that the numbers keep climbing and the government's promises mean nothing on the ground. When confronted with this reality, Starmer has no real answer and quickly tries to change the subject. This silence is dangerous for his career, as Farage not only identifies the problems, but presents a plan to root them out completely. It's a plan that resonates with voters who feel ignored, betrayed and unsafe under Labour's watch. If this momentum continues, Farage and Reform UK could take a majority of seats in Parliament, rewriting Britain's political map.
You know, this person, I don't know what his political belief is, but first off, if this can benefit the United Kingdom, so I think the first thing they should do, the UK Online Safety Act should be abolished. Because of this illegal immigration, it's not protecting kids either. Even with the Online Safety Act, it doesn't do a damn thing. So what do you think, folks? How long do you think Keir Starmer is going to last as Prime Minister? Would it be 2 years? 4? Because based on this public outrage, I don't think he's gonna last 2 years. What do you think?
Majority of seats in Parliament, rewriting Britain's political map.
So I want to be absolutely clear at the start of this 6-week campaign that Reform will be the toughest party on law and order and on crime that this country has ever seen. We will aim to cut crime by half in the first 5 years of a Reform government. We will take back control of our streets. We will take back control of our courts, of our prisons. And if you're a criminal, I am putting you on notice today that from 2029, or whenever that may be, either you obey the law or you will face very serious justice.
Starmer's migration policy is packed with empty phrases about fairness and compassion, which sound more like excuses to avoid action than a real plan. And when it comes to border control, his refusal to back mass deportations has sparked outrage far beyond Conservative voters. Many lifelong Labour supporters who once saw the party as a defender of ordinary Britons now feel they have a leader who protects criminals instead of protecting citizens.
That is one thing every government needs. Yeah, and every country needs as well. Sometimes, look at my country, Malaysia. We never had this kind of problem. I mean, there's still immigration, or in this case, illegal immigrants still roaming the area. One reason you should know is because the jungles. Southeast Asia, most parts, let's say for example, Malaysia is mainly covered with forests and jungles, aka the Malay jungle. So, immigrants can easily hide anywhere. And my country's immigration officers and police units, they're still hunting them down, okay? I'm certain there's more out there. We just don't know. So kudos to the police. Let's see what else.
In the scenes, Labour insiders are uneasy. There are quiet conversations about whether Starmer can survive if the migrant crisis keeps escalating. He was supposed to be the safe pair of hands, the one who could restore trust and lead Labour back into power. But public opinion says otherwise. Anger over migrant hotels, rising knife crime, and grooming gangs is eroding his support week by week. And the Southport cover-up only poured fuel on the fire. Sensing his poll numbers slipping, Starmer rolls out fresh statements on migration, hoping they will save him. But the nation has long learned that his polished speeches in Parliament never match the reality outside. After his promises, the streets in troubled cities look exactly the same, the ghettos don't disappear, and the predators don't vanish. Illegal migrants don't hand over their machetes for scrap metal, and the daily arrivals across the channel don't stop. It's the same cycle every time, grand words followed by zero change.
And where do we hear that? I'm certain some of you remember how many illegal immigrants roamed into the USA when Biden was presidency. And I'm certain some of you have lived through Biden's presidency and have faced illegal immigrants. And you don't want that, and you too don't want that to happen to other countries. Again, this is most likely be extra content, something that I cannot fit in my first or second channel. This kind of thing will be extra, like say if there's any news update, there is some development thing, you know what it is, but overall this is something that is extra. One more thing I need to add. Sooner or later, Keir Starmer, I decided to make him his 350% cook, which is gonna be on my second channel starting tomorrow, okay? It'll be posted there. Keir Starmer, congratulations, you put your head in the sand. And guess what? People caught up to your BS, and good job, mate. You just unite the whole citizens of Britain, and now they're coming for you. No matter what you do, Keir Starmer, they're gonna come for you. No one is going to protect you. No laws, no immigration, no one will protect you. And King Charles is not going to be happy.
We'll never make it. He's going away. Enjoy the fireworks, fellas.
Frank's been flying with the RAF longer than any of us. He's almost as good as he thinks he is.
Then he must think he's pretty damn good.
He did it! He did it! Ah, God, it's still floating. What do you guys want to play Santa and drop something down their chimney?